Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sonam Gupta, working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So today we will going to discuss a complex topic in digital and social media marketing, which is blogging, and we will also be discussing about its various insights. So blogging, what is blogging? Blogging, it is a process that implies creating articles, photos and other form of content and publishing them on the website. Its characteristics, it includes informal languages, it is a laid back atmosphere, regular updates are provided over there, life hack tips and high level of customer engagement is also involved in it. It is a process of creating blog posts and publishing them on the website. The website which will be published, it can be owned by an individual or a company, and then the posted content, it can be easily be viewed by the photos or the digital content as well. Blogging, it involves sharing long-term articles on a specific subject. Now, most commonly blogs, they have a target audience and then the bloggers choose the topic knowing the interest of the target audiences. What happens often, other brands, they have blogs on the websites which makes them easier for users to know about the company, about the product and engage with them. So in blogging we can do all sorts of work. Basically it is for the target audiences. We have a audience, we know which type of audience, for what type of audience we are going to do that particular blogging. Now, what are the pros of blogging? What will be the advantages when blogging will be done? Now, first advantage is that it enhances the search engine optimization, which is your SEO. Blogging, it can help to improve the organic search ranking of the website, and the more frequently we update the blog, the more are the chances of improving the website, because blogging, it requires regular updates. If we do not do the regular updates for the blogging, then there is no use of it. It will go dump, and if the website is not updated, then user will not be interested in knowing which type of data or which type of marketing can be done on it. Second advantage, it maintains communication with the audience. If I am having a blog of certain product, then what will happen? The audience will be engaged with me. So blog post, it can help us to continuously engage with the audiences by keeping them with the regular updates, the recent trends in the industry, and along with this, by writing insightful and informative information on the fresh topics, the readers can come to know about all these things through our website, and thus it will build the brand loyalty as well. So in a way, blogging, it is also a way of digital marketing. I am going to write some new content or some fresh content about any particular product. Now the audience which was engaged to me through my blog, it will read those blogs, and by reading those blogs they will come to know that okay, this brand is, this is helpful, these are the main specifications of these brands, and if while after buying the user find it's useful, then what will happen? The user, the brand will maintain its loyalty. Next advantage it is, it generates alternate income. Now blogging, it can help to make the money online as well. It can become a rewarding career because we can earn money from the affiliated products and the advertising. Suppose I am writing a blog for a product XYZ. Now I will be giving all the information about XYZ, that what are its specification, what are its advantages, how it can be done, and how it will be useful for the users. And after buying that product, suppose the more number of audiences get engaged with the product, then what will happen? In a way, through those products, through those companies, by the help of these advertisements, I can earn the money as well. So it is a generating alternate source of income as well. So income can always be connected to it. Next one, it builds rapport with the audience. So a blog, it is a useful online tool that always show the credibility and the expertise. It is a great way to build the rapport with the audience. Why? Because it allows us to post the content and interact with the audience through the blog. If I'm writing about the product XYZ and if the product actually becomes useful for the audience, that is for the audience for which I was writing the blog, the target audience was already fixed. Now what will happen the next time whenever another product will launch, the target audience will definitely going to come to my blog to check the specifications of the product before buying it. So what is happening over here? Here the rapport has been built with me through the help of the blog. So blogs also give me a public figure as well, we can say, and it is a great source to build the rapport. Next comes the cons of blogging. What are the disadvantages of blogging? First one, we require a relatively long time to bring the positive results. It is not going to happen in a single day that I am writing a blog and then more number of target users are using my blog, they are trusting over me and I am making money. No, it is not going to happen. It is a long process and the results take time. Next one, it always needs fresh and unique ideas relevant to the target audience. We are having a target audience. The market is being developed each day, day by day. So what we need always fresh and new and unique ideas to keep the audience engaged with me. If the audience is not engaged with me through the new content, through the new ideas, then no user is going to come to my blog and check that what data has been uploaded on it, what is the specification, etc. No one is going to care about it. Next one, it brings only a little payoff in the beginning. In the beginning, if we expect that we are going to have lots and lots of income, then this is not true for the case of blogging. It needs additional ways of promotion like email, social media, influencer marketing, PPC and pre-roll ads as well. So if I'm writing a blog, then how the user is going to know that this new blog has been launched in the market? There is no way the user will come to know. How the user will come to know about that particular blog? We can give information through emails, through social media posts that okay, I'm starting this blog channel, you can give the like and subscribe, all those things which are going on right now. Along with this, we can have the influencer marketing as well. We are sending the blog to the influencer and then they are promoting that particular blog. Now, there are 6 main steps to start a blog. First one, we choose a niche. What is a niche? That means we choose an idea, we choose a particular area where we have to write the blog. Next one, we pick a catchy and easy name for the blog. We select a unique design for it. Then we write our first blog. After writing the first blog, the important thing comes is promotion of the blog. Then we promote the blog through various different platforms. Now, as we have discussed earlier, the platforms can be anything. The platform can be the social media platform like the Instagram, Facebook, through X or through influencer marketing. Through all those things, we can promote the blog as well. Then we optimize and update the content regularly. The 6th and the 5th step, they are the most important step because writing a blog, it just needs fresh ideas. If I am a good writer, then also I can write a good blog. But we need to promote that good blog to the target audience, and the target audience, it should be engaged with the blog as well. After that, we need to optimize and update the content as well, and this is a continuous process. Daily we have to optimize the data because no user is having much more time to go through a long blog. So optimization is always required, and then the content updation of the content is also required for it. Now we will be discussing these steps in detail. First one, we choose the idea. So firstly, we need to select the idea in which we have a high level of expertise, where passion and interest in the chosen industry, it is also very much essential. Secondly, once we choose the key topic in which we need to write the blog, we make sure that it is having a wide audience so that you have some space to grow your blog. The target audience is also required to grow the blog. Now, if we do not have idea about what to blog, then we consider sharing our life experiences as well. If we do not know what we can write, so generally the bloggers start by writing their life experiences. We can start a personal blog and then we start telling about our daily routine in it, like the makeup, cosmetics, lifestyle, clothes, traveling, or anything which is related to personal things. The key, what is the benefit of it, or what is the key to it? The key to it is to create quality content that will attract the public. After that, after choosing the idea, we pick a catchy and easy name for the blog. To make readers regularly coming to the blog, we need to select an easy to remember domain name. It's the address on the internet, so that it should be unique. The domain name, what it does, it enable the people to find the website on the social media account, and the title, it should be descriptive so that the new users can catch the main idea of the blog. So, it should not be too much descriptive, it should not be too much vague that the audience is not able to remember it, or the audience is not able to understand what the blog is about. The audience will come to the blog only when the name of the blog is very much catchy. What will happen by it, if the name of the blog is catchy, then only the audience is going to attract to that particular blog and more number of people will be coming to it. Then we select a unique design. We need to have some understanding of the blog and its design, since it needs a face also. As an option, like, we consider leveraging WordPress, since it has special layout for the blogs. The platform, it enables us to obtain a layout and its design in just a few clicks. So, for the design we can use the WordPress. There are various layouts available to it, and by the help of those layouts we can easily get to it. Then we create first blog post. So, once we decide on the design, now we can create our first piece of the content. Then we need to keep in mind that we have to make the blog successful. So, the post should be interesting, unique, engaging, and it should be not be relatively long post. And it is not an easy idea or an easy task to always come up with the interesting ideas. So, but these interesting ideas are required so that more and more number of people get attracted to it. So, make the people engage with the blog, more interesting with it, we need to have some daily new ideas. Besides that, we should also create visual appealing blog post, and simply the way visitors, they can relate to the post, or they can relate to the content in which the data has been written. So, this is also required to make the blog post successful. Next one, we promote the blog through the various platforms. Now, we have written a blog, the idea has been done, the layout has been done. Now, next, what is the next step? The next step is to promote the blog through different platforms, because if the blog has not been promoted well, it is of no use. Now, when the companies and the bloggers, they promote the products with the help of digital and traditional marketing, then we can't remain inactive. We use various forms of ads like PPC, native advertising, pre-roll ads. Then we can also create email campaigns and leverage social media channels to popularize the blog. More and more number of bloggers, they use paid ads that appear on the users' Instagram stories and on the gaming sites as well. Consider collaborating with the bloggers on the same idea, on the same area, then commenting them other famous pages, communicating with the audiences. It also requires posting regularly to build a follower base and gain your readers' love and trust. Next, it is optimize and update the content. So once the blog is publicized, the blog is promoted, we have to update it frequently. Now, if we want the blog to be very much popular and to be appearing in the Google, then we utilize relevant keywords, then write quality content, the optimizations, and we reduce the bounce rate as well. So this is the important step where we need to promote the blog. As we have discussed, the promotions, it can be done through any social media platform, through influencer marketing, etc. That can be done very easily. And after the blog has been promoted on different platforms through SEOs, etc., what we need to regularly update the content. If the content is not being updated, then no user is going to come to that site and use the blog post again. These are the few best blogging platforms that we can say where we can start. Like first platform, it is the WordPress. WordPress, it is free of cost. The custom domain, it does not provide any custom domain. Themes are limited and the popularity is high in nature. Second one, it is WordPress.org. It costs $3 per month. Custom domain, yes, it is customized domain. The themes, they have thousands of themes, and 32% of the internet, it is the popularity of WordPress.org. Next is Wix. The cost is free. It does not provide any custom domain. Themes are limited and it is also having good popularity. Next is Weebly. It is free, does not provide any custom domain. It is limited in nature and the popularity is high as compared. Next one, it is Squarespace. The cost is $12 per month. It provides a custom domain. Themes are limited and the popularity is quite low. Next one, it is Blogger. The cost is free. It does not provide any custom domain. The themes, they are very much limited and the popularity is high. So these are just few examples through which we can have our first blog by using any of these. Like initially when we start with free, we can go with WordPress, but it does not provide the custom domain, or we can go with WordPress.org, which most of the bloggers go with it because it is free in nature. It's just $3 per month, but it is providing the custom domains. There are thousands of themes in it in which we can give the blog. Now explaining these in detail, WordPress.com, this is one free blog post, and if we want to start, we get a blog for free as an interesting ground, and choosing this blogging platform, it is perfect. Why? Because we are ready to turn the blog into the business. So it is super easy to convert the blog from WordPress.com to WordPress.org. You can easily convert the blog from .com to .org in WordPress. Next one, it is WordPress.org. This is the best place on the internet to start with the blog almost free because it is $3 per month only. And WordPress.org, it requires a hosting platform which costs as low as $3 per month, which we have discussed. And if you think how quickly you can spend $3 on the cup of Starbucks, it is phenomenally cheap to start a blog so little. Next is Wix. It is pretty easy to use and free, and it's also a great to start a blog for free if it is a hobby blog. Now your domain name, it will always contain Wix in it. Like for example, my website Wix.net. So it will always have this keyword Wix in it if I am using this Wix. Next is Weebly. Weebly, Wix, they are similar in the sense because they are both easy to use and they offer free plans. And Weebly allows us to drag and drop the items on the website. So these are the few web blogging platforms. Next is, what is web hosting? Web hosting, it is also known as the website hosting or web hosting. It is the process where a web hosting provider stores and maintains the website files and applications on the server and make the customer website accessible on the internet. Now, web hosting, it requires the use of one or more physical, that is your virtual servlets, and then through DNS we can get the configurations. Now, hosting companies like GoDaddy, Bluehost, there are many more which are available. There are various types of hosting like shared or virtual hosting. Now, what happened in it? Here many websites reside on one web server which is connected to the internet, and like it will all provide the own domain name like www.yourname.com. So, what are the advantages of shared virtual hosting? It is easy and affordable, secured by hosting provider, and it is 24/7. It is having the technical support as well. The disadvantages of shared or virtual hosting, shared resources, it can slow down the whole server. It is less flexible than the dedicated hosting. Next is the dedicated hosting. A dedicated hosting, it hosted on a dedicated server, and this type of hosting, it is best suited for large websites with the high traffic. In this, the company wishing to go to the online rents and internet, it will completely rent the entire web server from a hosting company. Now, for what purpose it is suitable? It is suitable for those companies which are hosting larger websites and maintaining other sites or managing a big online mall like Google Cloud, etc. So, if a company is hosting large website or multiple websites, then only the company, it should go for the dedicated hosting. Now, what are the advantages of dedicated hosting? So, advantages are, it is ideal for large business, strong database support it is having, unlimited software support, powerful email solutions, and the complete root access to the servers. What are the disadvantages? It is very expensive since we are having the whole server to a single company, and it also requires superior skill sets. Next type of hosting, it is co-located hosting. Now, this hosting lets you place your own web server on the premises of the service provider. Our own server will be on the premises of the web provider. It is similar to dedicated hosting, but what is the difference is that the server, it is now provided by the user company itself, and its physical needs are met by the hosting company. The major example of this type of hosting, it is AWS, which is very common. So, the server is located at the hosting site, but it is hosting our data only. What are the advantages of co-hosting? It is having greater bandwidth, high uptime, unlimited software options are there in it, and it is of high security. The disadvantages are, it is difficult to configure and debug, it is expensive and require high skills. Now, we have a comparison between free hosting and the paid hosting. For the website speed, free hosting services, they usually have slower server which can affect the website loading time. On the other hand, paid hosting, it provides offer faster servers resulting in better website speed. In terms of uptime, free hosting services, they have frequent downtimes and which can be negative effect on the website's performance. And paid hosting provides offer guaranteed uptime, ensuring that the website is available to visitors all the time. Next is security. Free web hosting services, they have minimal security measures, making the website more vulnerable to hacking attempts. And paid hosting, it provides better security measures such as SSL certificates, firewall, backups to protect the website from the cyber threats. In terms of customer support, free hosting website, they do not offer dedicated customer support, which is difficult to resolve any issue which arises. Whereas paid hosting services, they provide round the clock customer support, ensuring that all the issues are resolved at the time only. For the advertisements, free hosting providers, they display ads on the website which can negatively affect the user's experience as well. In terms of storage and bandwidth, free hosting, they only offer limited storage and bandwidth, and it will restrict the website's growth, whereas paid hosting, it provide unlimited storage and the bandwidth. So storage requirement, it is not any issue in it. Control panel, free hosting, it provide limited control panel options, whereas paid hosting providers, it offers various control panel options like cPanel, Plesk or Desk Admin. In customizations, free hosting, they do not provide customizations, which makes it very difficult to customize the website's design in the functionality, where paid hosting is just opposite to it. Various customization options are available on it, and through which we can easily customize our website. For SEO, free hosting, it does not provide SEO optimization tools, whereas paid one provides the SEO optimization tools. Pricing, free hosting, as the name suggests, does not charge any fees, whereas the paid hosting has a fee. This is how website hosting works. Website owner, it goes to the web host, then the web host goes to the domain name and to the website users. Thank you.